Alright, equivalent fractions, what does that mean? So what I want you to do first is to hit pause and then shade these four fractions for me. If you don't know how, watch the video for fractions and then come back and try these. So hit pause now. Alright, so your picture should look something like this. Mine's a little biased because I know exactly what I'm looking for, so that's why they're all shaded that way. If you look at my pictures and yours, what can you say about these fractions? Exactly, they're all the same, and that's what we call equivalent fractions. When the fractions are the same, they are equivalent. And what we're going to do is figure out how to actually create equivalent fractions. And there's really one rule, and it's this. You can take any fraction and multiply it by any number, as long as you do it to the top and the bottom. And you have to do it correctly, because 1 times 2 is not 4, it's 2. Pick another number, any number. 3. That gives us 3/6. If you pick 4, you get 4/8. If you look at our fractions above, that was them. We have 1/2, it became 2/4, 3/6, 4/8. You can do any number you want as long as you do it to the top and the bottom. These are all equivalent. So pick a number, any number you want, and I want you to create 3 equivalent fractions to 1/3. Any number you want. Hit pause and try it. Okay, so assuming you multiplied by the same number, top and bottom, any number you wanted, you just created an equivalent fraction. If you don't believe me, I'll show you. You have 1/3. That's a third. And what I'm going to do is now create it to the last one, which is 2/6. There you go. It is now 2 out of 6 pieces. That's all equivalent is. When you're multiplying top and bottom, what you're doing is actually cutting each of the piece into more pieces. That number top and bottom that you multiply by is what it's doing. If you look at the half, we multiplied it by 2 to make 2/4. So what we did is basically just cut each piece into 2 pieces, which gives us 2/4. If you did 3, you cut each piece into 3 pieces. Watch. I have to do it. It's just because it's so cool. So, 1 piece, there's 3 pieces, but I got to do it equally because that's what fractions are. 3/6. Pick any number you want. We'll go with it. I'll use blue. Pick any number. How about 5? If we cut this into 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then do the same thing. Just continue the lines. How many total pieces? So we cut this into 5 and that into 5. We have 10 pieces and it's 5/10. Still a half. So you're not changing the shape, you're just cutting it into pieces. So that what this represented was times 5 times 5, 5/10. See, same thing. That's all that number represents. Alright, and you can see a better picture here of it, vertically. A half is the same as 2/4, which is the same as 3/6, which is the same as 6/12. And then a third is the same as 2/6 or 4/12. What if you did 2/3? Well, you just follow the line down. It's the same as 4/6 or 8/12. That's it. If you had 3/4, 3/4 is the same as 9/12. Right? We're not changing the fraction in any way. It's still exactly the same shape. We're just cutting it into smaller pieces. That's it. Right? Remember, bigger the denominator, smaller the piece. That's all it means. Alright, so here's some practice problems from you. All of these are just little techniques that you can use, just different ways, not techniques, different things that you can do and use equivalent fractions. It's a very, very important thing. So these are all little problems. And so what's the only rule we have? You can multiply top and bottom by any number you want. And that's what you're going to do. You can multiply by any number you want. And there's one other way. What if you wanted to go back? Well, what's the opposite operation of multiplication? It's division. So you could also divide by any number you want, top and bottom. So I want you to hit pause and try these. It's a whole page. It's probably going to take you about 10 minutes to do this. But again, all you're doing is multiplying top and bottom or dividing top and bottom. Alright, and so here are your answers, and they're going to completely vary except for one. One you get an answer. Alright, so you should have gotten those answers for 1. And then for part 2 you can multiply by any number you want, and then you could have divided as well later on after you multiplied it. And then for 3 I made it larger so that you would hopefully divide by something, a 2, a 4, a 6, a 12. And then part 4, you just have to check it. Remember, multiply top and bottom. So the first one, if you multiply to make a 6, it's 3 and 3 would be 6/15. 6/12 is not 6/15. Cross it off. And the next one, to make 40ths, you'd use 8. That doesn't give you 18ths. And if you had used 9, it would have been 18 over 45. Doesn't work. But 2/5, you do 7, and 7 gives you 14/15. So that is the equivalent fraction. For 7, fractional size is 1/6, and then if you want to make some more pizzas, you just cut them up into smaller sizes. So any number you pick, that's what you get. Here's what it basically looks like. Here is a Costco pizza, right? And we're gonna, oh, come on. Sorry, I'm having color issues here. There we go. There's a 1/6, right? So, if you take that one piece of pizza now, and we cut it in, I can't even see it. We cut it in half, and you cut all the pizzas into 2 pieces. You get 2 12s. Why did I pick 2? Because it's simple. You multiply by 2, it gives you 2 12s, so you could do 12s. That's all you can do with a pizza, is cut it into smaller and smaller pieces. If you multiply, it'll tell you what size each piece is and actually how many pieces you have. Alright, and then there's all your fractions you should have. Alright, and if you want to see the pizza actually being cut up, you can click on this little link right here, and it will take you to another YouTube video that actually shows the fractions being cut up. Thank you.